Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. So here we are, turn 27 part 2. Now, it's been a very interesting one. It really has been. We have so much going on right now, and there's so many options here. What I'm loving is the fact that things just, they're not black and white. It's not cut and dried on what the actual correct solution should be. And that's what I really do enjoy. Now, I don't know, I'm in two minds really over our movements over here in the South Pacific, just opposite New Caledonia. Now, we've been granted a major boon here. Now, only a Kargi and Karga have been spotted. That's very important. See, what I'd like to figure out here is, obviously we know if we combine the two task forces, then that task force, the combined one, is the one that is spotted then. But I wonder if we could actually maybe use some of the actual ships from the other task force and slip them in over here. So we'll give it a go. I'm really quite interested in the Cheetos. Cheeto. I'm interested in the Cheeto. The reason for that, it would be very nice to actually have that long-range reconnaissance assets available. Hello there, Commissar Roach, and I'd like to say a big thank you to Commissar Roach here, ladies and gentlemen, by the way. He did actually produce an incredibly awesome graphic. I was going to find that up over here, just so I can show you guys. It's really, really good. You've done two for me so far. Genuinely very impressed. Yep, here we go. Now, this is Commissar Roach's work here. And just look at how amazing that is. That is awesome. I really do love that. I appreciate just the amount of effort that's gone into something like that. It's absolutely amazing. Commissar Roach does also have a fantastic YouTube channel. I would definitely recommend checking him out. He does some great stuff. Big 40k fan, and definitely an avid tabletop RPG fan, so definitely worth checking out there. So once again, thank you, Commissar Roach, and on your honour, we shall call our operation down here in the South Pacific Operation NO, which basically means stop. And ideally, we'll put a stop to the Americans' ability to function in this area, the Allies' ability to function in this area. Okay. So let's see if we can move the ship over. So we moved over the seaplane carrier here to the second Kirubutai. Now, does that have detection? So a Kargi and Karga still have detection. Ooh. But the Zukaku, Shokaku, Soru, and Hero Force do not have detection now, but we've been able to move over the seaplane carrier there. Now that's quite important, actually. I think we do have, yeah, we have the required amount of, well, I'd say, let's take a look at what we actually have over here then on the Kargi and Karga. We do have to be somewhat careful with them, of course, as they will be some sort of target. We don't have as many fighters as we obviously would like over here. Let's just take a look. Yeah, we have not a huge amount of aces and 2 zeros. We do have some A5, M4 claws to try and make up for the actual differences over here. Oh, man, that's awesome, dude. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate that. Okay. See, these A5 M4s, they're still considered, well, of course, they're carrier capable as the aircraft is able to be launched from carriers and land on carriers. But the squadron itself is not yet carrier trained. So obviously they'll have some issues. I'd imagine there's going to be more in the way of like operational losses. But I suppose the good news about having these A5 M4s aboard the actual carriers here is at the end of the day, this squadron will then have the carrier training, which is actually going to be quite important. At least then we might even be able to think about actually depositing them on other islands and even having them picked up by other carriers in the future. So it's nice to have that option, it's nice to have that versatility. Okay. So let's take a look at how many float planes I actually have here. So I only do have 7. Technically 9, but some of them are in reserve, which is quite good to have a reserve here. Now you're in night operations. Let's take a look then. So, carrier aircraft. We'll take a look at our float planes. Okay, so 2, 4, 6. It's a shame that the Jake is out of action for the time being. Yeah, Haguro. Okay, yep, so we have a ready pilot, but we have no aircraft here. So, of course, the Haguro isn't going to be going anywhere, is she? Well, the Haguro's scout isn't going to be going anywhere. I suppose we'll attempt to have the pilot do some training then, if that's even possible. Oh well, we'll give it a go, why not? Okay, so we do have an E7K2 Alpha over here as well. Now that's not too bad, obviously it doesn't have the range of the Jake, but at least it has more range than the Pete, so that comes in handy. Question is, we might be able to actually transfer a squadron from the Cheetahs over onto one of these ships over here, try and make up the numbers. So if we take a look. Now, Kargi. They're protected by the Hiei and Kirishima class battle. Well, not class, but they're protected by the battleships Hiei and Kirishima. They're pretty speedy as well, 29 knots. Undamaged and fully armed. They do have the Haguro and Abukuma and 3 destroyers. I may consider actually transferring an additional destroyer here, perhaps. But what I'm going to do here with this actual task force, the plan in mind here, is originally I was going to have them head down here to actually, yeah, I don't know, support each other. But due to the fact that the other carrier force has actually not been spotted, I think we need to come up with a name for the time being just to differentiate them easier. I'm trying to think of what a name would be. We'll go with the South Pacific Strike Force, perhaps. Oh, fuck. I don't know, we'll think of a name. If anybody can come up with a name, we'll go ahead and change that. But it'll do for now, it's just a way just to differentiate things so you guys know what I'm talking about. Now, of course, the fuel situation here is not particularly fantastic. We are a few days out now from having fuel arriving. We do have some fuel over here. Yep, as we do have a tanker. We'll have a additional oiler over here. The oiler is going to be quite important. Yeah, the Hayamoto. She's going to be very important there. Kote no Chikara. Can you give me the translation of that? But it does sound like a good name. Okay. Kote. No. Chikara. Oh, the Emperor's Mine. That's pretty fantastic, actually. I quite like that. Kote no Chikara. I'd imagine I'm butchering the pronunciation there, but I do like that name. That's pretty cool. Right. So the Emperor's Might. I like that. Let's take a look at what we could do with Cheetos then. So what do I have aboard here? I do have a fuckload of F102Ps, I'm not gonna lie about that. That's an impressive amount. Right, just 2 here. So you're still currently set to Reconnaissance, well, Reconnaissance, Comac. I'm actually rather surprised that we don't have solid information on Comac. It seems like the Reconnaissance there just did not pick anything up. Which is obviously witty, but we'll live with it. What I'm going to do here then to try and increase the amount of deception here is I'm going to transfer these guys. Right. So there's not enough room on any of these ships over here, that's a shame. That's for 3 aircraft. How about for 2 aircraft? There's room aboard Chikuma. See, that's the fantastic thing about our heavy cruisers here. They do have more space for these aircraft. Right. So we do have Haguro over here. What I'm going to try and do here then is... I'm going to rename you then to Kido Butai. Right. What I'd like to do here then is see if we can actually transfer the Haguro. Sorry, the Chikuma. Let's take a look. Okay, we are able to do that as far as I can tell. What I could do here then is... I don't know, I suppose it begs the question, I don't think we need, Last damaged by a collision, goddammit. Hello there, Carl, it's good to see you, my friend. What I'm going to do here then is, we don't really have much of a surface force, do we? Really escorting the carriers. So I think what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to grab Haguro. I'm also going to grab, we do have more destroyers here. It's a hard choice. I do have more surface assets over here, so we could make do for the time being. And can I make the suggestion that you move the whole fleet to suit to hit his ships? Oh, excuse me. We are going to be moving in that direction with a element, with 2/3 of the actual fleet at the moment. I will have the rest of the fleet join, but what I'm going to do here, I'll explain in just a moment actually. Now, we do have Chikuman over here. What I'm thinking is maybe we take Abakuma, but it would be nice to have some additional surface assets over here to protect the 2 carriers. Thing is, I only have 2 heavy cruisers here. I think what I'm going to do here then is actually take the Chikuma as well. I'll leave the light cruiser Abakuma. Well, yeah, Abakuma over here. The reason for that is Hiei and Kirishima, after all, are battleships and they have, yeah, look at that gun value. 535, 291. I think I'd rather have the 3 light cruisers over here. Even these 3 light cruisers aren't really equivalent to the 2 battleships. We'd actually need a 4th heavy cruiser to be equivalent. And they do have more AA, but as we are going to be nearing Fiji, and we did detect aircraft on this airfield, so it would make sense for this force to actually have it. And could you maybe use a few surface units to scout the northern parts of New Caledonia, something small and fast? And potentially so. Right, so Kote no Chikara, basically the Emperor's Might. Let's take a look then. Guns 3252, A571. I'd say it does make sense that Kidibutai actually, retains the battleships. I think I'll give them an additional destroyer. I'll give them one of the more damaged ones. At least then they're not going to be moving around too much, and they're not going to be receiving as much extra damage. Okay, so 4 destroyers there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. We do have 3 heavy cruisers and a seaplane carrier. Though we do have 4 fleet carriers. They are going to be heading out into the Pacific. I mean, if we had a light cruiser... I mean, we do have a light cruiser here, but I would like to bring additional ones. And they're not too far away. I mean, it's a sound plan, actually. It would be nice to actually do something like that. Have it, like, basically use its longer-ranged Jake float planes to actually, like, do some reconnaissance of the area. But yeah, we'll have Kotai no Chikara. No, Kotai no Chikara. There we go. True, but we're not going to be moving that far towards Fiji. What I wanted to do here is move within range of the island and basically, within range of the Jakes. I'm not going to really close the range yet. I also do need to refuel, and I would like to actually bring some additional surface assets. Okay. Right. So what I'm going to do here then is make sure they are set to a low threat tolerance. I don't want them to allow anything to near them. I mean, they can probably handle whatever the allies have out here for the most part, but I'm not going to allow that to happen. Right, so Kidabutai, where could we move you? At the moment, you are set to head down here. What I'm going to do here then is actually take a look at the coral reefs. So as we can see here, he can't move through here. So we do have, the way to look at this is, let's draw this one out, make it a little bit more visible for people. because we actually do have a nice little thing going for us here. Okay, so the red lines represent where something can't cross due to the coral reefs. Obviously, you would not want to be sailing through that. Okay, so what I'm going to do here then is use, we'll say green to represent an allied advance. So the good news is here then, so let's say we have an allied force setting out from Brisbane. It can't just go poof, it has to and around. Or it has to do this. So in effect here, if I take Kidabutai, and I'd say maybe move them, I mean I could keep them in this sort of position here, which might be a decent idea. I mean it's not a bad idea actually having some distance, but we do have to bear in mind that the other carriers are going to be over here. So that is going to cover obviously Noumea. I think what I might do then is move to this position here, into this hex. Or do we? And to get to Comac, what they'd have to do then is like go like that, and then they'd have to go like that to move out. What I'm thinking here then is we'll have our other carrier force then, so we'll have the Emperor's Might Task Force moving down here to the south. So obviously they're going to be covered in Noumea. They're also going to be covered in potentially something that's in this area here. So what I'm thinking here then is, yeah, we'll have Kidabutai cover this, cover Comac, run reconnaissance over there. We'll have enough range on our F1M2 Pete. We'll also then be able to potentially cover anything that approaches from this area over here, and which has also got the added benefit of actually protecting Luganville, so protecting Espirito Santo from the Coralcita degree. While over here in the south, we'll be projecting power out, and ideally I want to sever the ability for anything allied to move through here. Now we do have the islands. We do have a pretty good position for ourselves here. It seems it's very tenuous, it really is. But the advantage that we have here is we've been able to strike at a time where it seems he doesn't have any major resistance close by. So imagine, let's see. Now Funafuti over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is the range at which our Jakes can patrol out to at maximum. Yep. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oops, forget that last one. Okay. So we'll have Jakes over here running reconnaissance. We'll have reconnaissance aircraft over here as well. So what we're trying to do then is actually build something of a network around Fiji. I do have Savai over here. I really would love to actually send some reconnaissance aircraft down that way. The reason then would be we'd have reconnaissance over here, obviously here still, and then here as well. So if I could try to form something of a perimeter around Fiji. Now, I've been reading Warplan Orange. It's really, really fantastic book so far. And it's rather impressive, really. Because we have to take the lessons that the Americans took in real life. It's like if an island can be isolated, then well, leave it isolated. We can starve these islands. These islands over here will starve. They have no way to actually produce supplies on the island itself. And for example, Noumea, the reason why Noumea is so very interesting to me and so very much desired is the fact it does have light industry. Only a small amount of light industry, but it produces resources and it has the light industry, so it has the capability to actually produce a small amount of supply, which means it's... I mean, I could force them to dwindle. Well, I don't know. If they can replenish the amount they use each day, then it's going to be impossible to starve them out. Or if they can't replace the exact amount of supply they use per day, it's still going to really slow the process down of starving them. Well, he has static resistance on many objectives. You have the advantage that he has no mobile resistance in the theatre. Yeah, and it's a really big advantage here. Really big. So, I think what we're going to do then is we're going to allow the cannons to move down this way. I might even have, Kotai, Kotai no Chikara maybe move further to the south. Let's take a look at the positions here. So, from, let's see. Not F6. Right, so from this hex over here then, where they could move, Noumea is 5 hexes away. Now, Nardi is 13. Let's see. Hello there, Infinite Monkey. How you doing, my friend? From this hex over here, I don't think it's much of a difference. 11 hexes, okay. Can't Pago be supplied from the Pacific's coastal? Yes, it can. For the time being, it can be. What I'd like to do is, once we do refuel and we do actually unite Kiributai once again, what I would like to do is actually, using the first air fleet as cover, I would like to actually move some engineers over here to survive. I mean, what we have to consider here, as far as it goes for our objectives in the South Pacific, I mean, our objectives were really to establish a base down here, from which we could actually use to, well, basically use it to interdict the Allied supply lines down here. And in fact, we already have that. We already have that in the form of Savai, which is one of the 2 Samoan islands, or I suppose one of the 3 Samoan islands over here. Well, 4 or 5, I can't remember how many islands in the Samoan chain. But we already do have a base over here. So if I was to build this base up, it's actually not received any damage. It only has a size 1 port and a size 1 airfield. It has the capability to build it up to a level 3 and a port to level 2. So what we could potentially do here then is use this as our principal base in the area. I mean, the thing is, it's going to be one of those. We don't want to invest too heavily in any one base, too distant from our main line of resistance, really. I mean, our main line of resistance obviously would be these islands over here. So the Marianas, the Bonin Islands, and obviously Japan itself. So if we draw that out, so this would be our main line of resistance over here. Now, of course, the first line of resistance is basically the Marshall Islands over here. What we're wanting to do here then is extend this main line of resistance, something like that. And of course we do have Savai over here. We do have Wake and we have Midway. What we're trying to do really is form like a new defensive line. And the thing about this one is it's going to be difficult because the Allied forces could, at the end of the day, they could seek to go around it. Which is why Midway comes into play here. That's going to be quite important in the future, I can imagine. Now, that's where having an island over here in Revolution is quite good. But we'll see. I would like to form a line of resistance here. Move south, west, or east. He is moving away from you with everything you want. Yeah, exactly. Moving in between his 2 bases just opens the range for him. Then wouldn't it make more sense to take the bases the Allies already invested into? Yeah. It would be nice. I mean, this one over here, the fact that it has a size 2 port and airfield's quite good. I mean, Comac's not too bad, size 1 port, but it doesn't actually have an airfield, unfortunately. I really was hoping it would have an airfield, but it doesn't. Now, in time, we could starve out Suva. And Suva's quite good. It has a large port there, well, a relatively large port out in the Pacific here at size 3 and a size 3 airfield. Now, it has the capability to actually house a size 7 airfield, which is actually a very large airfield. Really quite big. And the same is true for Nardi, another size 7 over here. A few of these islands could actually house some decent airfields as well. I mean, Luganville over here can house a size 5 airfield. So can these other islands. I would actually like to take one of these other islands, or both of these other islands here as well, as it would be nice to have bombers established over here at Luganville perhaps, and then fighters over here at Tanna. Obviously this would take a lot of time. It really depends on how much time we want to actually throw at this. We don't have to rush this, especially if we're able to retain the use of our mobile forces over here in the form of Kidabutai. Obviously they are going to need some R&R. I think we'll have to think of a way to do that, and I think it might have to be phased R&R. Well, basically we'll send a carrier or 2 carriers to go and recover, and then come back. Your objective should be to kill the SLUs and ships. Unless you bring a lot more down, you can't hold those bases. Do not spend a supply and engineers to build the first bases, you will lose. Yeah, exactly. I mean, what I'm trying to do over here at Luganville is actually build up an airfield. The reason why I'm building an airfield here is because I simply don't have one close by. I'm using this as a pit stop for the time being, really, at the moment. And Louver Chainsaw, how you doing, my friend? And as I mentioned not too long ago, it's like I would like to build up an outpost over here, but it's only an outpost. I mean, I'm never going to build up a size 7 airfield over here. I just don't have the time, nor do I have the reason to. But what we want to do here then is really control quite a few islands. If we could actually ideally control this entire region over here, that would be quite good. As we'd have the ability then to actually use these different airfields to support each other. Basically, if I could actually separate the squadrons, basically, rather than having them all in one base, have them in different bases, it would be quite dangerous for him to come in over here. Of course, he could land with forces on one of these islands, but the beauty is then, it's really gonna be quite the delay in action. But of course, that is assuming that he would even bother doing that. Of course, he doesn't have to. We're trying to use the US tactic of isolation, really, against him at the moment. Okay. So what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to take Kidabutai. I can't complain. How goes your day? Well, bloody hell. It's been an interesting day of work today. Fairly bloody active. And then I went to the gym. I go to the gym class on a Thursday. That was about 5:15. From 5:15 to 6. I got home about 20 past 6. Had something to eat and start to stream at about 7, so busy day, But it's always cool. It's nice to be to feel energetic. Okay, what I'm going to do here then is actually deploy the carriers. I'd say about here, and I would consider deploying them further away. But what I want to do here then is remain close enough to not be in the immediate range of any surface vessel over here. Or would we be better off? We might be better off actually deploying further out. The reason being we're still within range. Let's see. 4 hexes, 3 hexes, 4 hexes, 4 hexes. Okay, this might be a good position to actually occupy. I suppose one of the things, if we do move further away from New Caledonia, we do lose the ability to maybe hit whatever we've missed out here. But I don't want to be too close because at the end of the day we don't know if we might have missed any surface assets. But then again, it's one of these things. I suppose if there had been surface assets, we probably would have found them by now. There is a PT boat over here, and that sort of thing does worry me because I do worry about maybe like a massed amount of PT boats rushing us at night. But I don't think it can actually create that. I don't think it has the capability to actually produce a large number of PT boats. There's still a danger there. But, I think I would consider moving about 80 nautical miles away from New Caledonia as the closest. At least then we are well within our range over here to Comac, well within range over here to Numair, both of them about the same. We do have a little bit more range beyond New Caledonia. We may yet pick up any ships approaching, so I think we'll go for something like that. Obviously, it does put us out of range of Luganville to actually support Luganville. But, I mean, Luganville does have a fairly decent and competent force over here. They do have Nagata and Mutsu. They have 4 heavy cruisers and 4 destroyers. They do have a couple of float planes over here. There's 2 patrol boats, and there's a cruiser miner. Obviously, that's not going to do anything, really. But at least they do still have a force. I do worry about this force over here. Really irritated that this force actually went bloody north, but I think this is the issue with not having their home port assigned Obviously, we couldn't do that last turn due to the fact that we hadn't, well, we didn't own the island. Hello there, Alfonso. Yeah, I think I'll move about here then. So 115, 157. The task force is set to low threat threshold. Obviously, we want them to not engage. So what I'd like to do then is continue to gather reconnaissance over here. Now, the question comes down to, am I better off actually taking the Cheetos out here? How many float planes do we actually have? Oh yeah, yeah, you are absolutely right, Ben Infinite. If he brings enough to threaten Luganville, that's a good thing. It means you have more targets. Yep, absolutely. I mean, the defense there at Luganville's no slouch. I mean, 2 battleships. I mean, the Nagata and Mutsu, they're pretty heavy, heavy sloggers, aren't they? I mean, 4 heavy cruisers, so 2 battleships, 4 heavy cruisers. That's quite the force there. That's quite a powerful force, supported by 4 destroyers. Of course, I do wish I had more destroyers, but we do have more surface assets on their way as we speak. I think what we'll do then, see, obviously it's one of these things. If we take a look at the actual way it's made up over here. So we do have Higuro, and we do have the Tone. Now, F1M2 Pete, E13A1 Jake, E13A Jake. But we don't have any available here on Higuro, only the F1M2 Petes. Chai. See, this is the thing, I just can't pronounce things. I'm so bad at it. I honestly do try. I honestly really do try, but I'm just so bad at it. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just some kind of, like, mental block or something. If I practiced it a lot, I'd probably be able to, like, have a go at it, but yeah. I'm not very good at doing things like that. Okay, I think we'll run, we do have the 12... F1M2 Pete's over here on the Cheetos as well. Cheetos. I'm just going to call it the seaplane carrier. I'm honestly not trying to take the piss, I'm just really bad at pronunciations. So I'm going to run them on night operations, actually. I don't think that's a bad idea for them, really. It would be nice, because at the end of the day, we do have to bear in mind that this area now is, like, open season for Allied submarines. We know he has, submarines over here by just north of Tarawa. We know he has submarines off the coast of Truck, definitely around the Marshall Islands. Chitose. Okay. And we do have 2 submarines over here, which is quite nice. Yeah, I'll take the seaplane carrier south. Now, question is, where do we go? Do we go here? I think what we might do... see, I don't want to be moving towards Fiji as such. We don't really know what he has there at the moment. It would be nice to actually try to gather some additional information, but it would take us at least 2 days to move within sort of adequate range. I mean, let's see. If we were to move like that, let's try and figure out the position that would actually bring us closest to Fiji. Okay, so if I move there... Yeah, I'm still out of range. Okay. So it seems that we're out of range no matter what we do over here. So I think what we'll do is take advantage, I reckon. And there's always the possibility... I mean, this is it. I suppose the thing is, it's like... do we try to carry on the deception? Because at the end of the day, he actually has lost sight of 4 of our carriers, which is a very big force there. At low Verflint. So do we try and take advantage of that? And move the carriers in such a way as to pray that he continues to lose that detection? Or do we operate as we would operate anyhow? I suppose the thing to bear in mind is... as far as we can tell, he doesn't know where they all are. So, he's reacting to that already. So we have at least a day, we have at least a day's pause here where THD is going to be like, okay, where the hell are these carriers? He may think they've left and headed back to the Marshlands, which would be amazing. If he thinks that, he may actually forestall any raids over there. Honestly, it's going to be hell for him. If it is in fact true and he has lost sight of those carriers, that is going to be absolute hell for him. Because any relief force that might have been heading or might have been planned to head towards this area, he's going to be like, right, okay. I might be potentially running into an ambush. That would be fantastic. So I think what we're going to do, man, is we're going to continue regardless of what happens. Now, we do see a large amount of ships over here. We do have 2 submarines on station, but we can see 2 ships, 4, 5, yep, 8, and then 11 there, and then whatever the hell's over here in Auckland. It might be worth our time then to potentially consider moving down here to Auckland to attack the shipping. But I really do feel like he's gonna have something out here. There's got to be something out here that's probably run away. Or might be trying to run away. We'll see. We do have fuel come into the area. The good news as well, the really, really good news, is we're actually going to have 2 submarine tenders over here. An aircraft tender, I don't think it's going to be too long until we actually have a destroyer tender or 2. Another destroyer minesweeper. The good news is actually having 2 destroyer minesweepers is actually going to be quite good. Because at the end of the day, if we do actually detect mines, at least then we do have 2 destroyer minesweepers out here. And then I can actually deal with that. And I'm quite happy as well that we do have additional patrol boats on the way too. Like, we have 2 over here. And we do have 2 already here at Luganville. I've been trying to, like, put together a force there. And I've been primarily using them for escorts in this area due to the fact that I don't really have a huge amount of ships. But they're going to come in handy for when we try to hold these bases for a short period of time. Because at the end of the day, yeah, if he comes to knocking with submarines, at least we do have something that's going to be patrolling that area. So it's not going to be a easy stalking ground for him. We do have, luckily, another destroyer over here. We do have 2 destroyers over here. That's quite good. Although ships around New Zealand are probably SW groups that operate on your subs. Best not to move Kitabutai to kill a few destroyers. For one thing, there's nothing harder to hit from the air than a destroyer. True. That's quite true. I suppose we do still have our 2 submarines down here, so they can still cause some havoc. The great news is the fact that the I-9 and the I-17 has actually not been spotted. So that's really good. It might be worth our time to probably... We might even try to pull out of this area due to the fact that, yeah, a lot of these could be hunter-killer groups. So it might be worth our time to pull out for the time being and then go back in once the area settles down a bit. We do have 4,198 endurance, 6,066 endurance. It might be worth it to maybe hang around New Zealand a little bit longer, but out here perhaps, and then ideally try to intercept something that might be coming from this area. We did see a big exodus of ships from this area, so they could be heading to basically New Zealand as we speak. Okay. But yeah, we'll head down this way. We might have a chance then to intercept anything heading out here, and we also do have a chance then to continue to hit anything around this area. We know there were ships over here. Depending on their speed, they might be out of range, but I don't think it's too likely. Okay, so we're gonna head, basically, not due south as such, but I suppose, like, what? South? Southeast? I'm not a big fan of that. Is that due to some coral reefs? No, there's no coral reefs there, so we shouldn't have an issue. They are set to direct. I don't particularly like them going so close to Numere. Can I set actual waypoints here? Retirement definitely not allowed. Kiributai's best move is probably east or north. Ships fleeing west will hit Australia. South will hit New Zealand. And east has to run all the way to the US, yeah. And that's been the plan here, really, with having Kitabutai in the area is really to cut his line of retreat over here. And to force him then to actually head back to the US, to be honest. I can't believe we spent about 40 minutes discussing this one move, but it's this is what I love about the game. It's so incredible just how much of a difference this could make. Yeah, so we have carriers, well, then again, we could have the, we might have our other carriers then, we might have, yeah, I think we'll have Kiributai move a little bit further north then. It's still close enough to use her planes. I suppose there's a difference of a hex. What's the actual range of the F1M2Ps? Right, normal radius is free. Okay, I'll maintain that position there then, as at least it's still the normal radius. We can always then take a look at moving them further north. And it would be nice as well, because we're not too far from Brisbane over here. It may be that, due to the fact that the vast majority of his warships may in fact be elsewhere, we might be able to try and consider a raid over here to Brisbane. I mean, I obviously would love to have some reconnaissance in this area, but we'll see. Once they make port in Auckland or Sydney, you will probably not sink anything, just clear the area. Yeah. Which works for us anyhow. Okay, yeah, you continue to that position. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. We'll move further and then bugger it. We'll move to our maximum range if we can. So 1, 2, 3. So if we move over to this position here, and we still do have some geographical cover over here, in the form of the actual coral reefs. Yeah, I think what we'll do here then, I suppose this is best way to approach it. We could have then some F1M2Ps then from Kiributai actually run to Reconnaissance, well, Reconnaissance, Comac. We could have some elements from the Kotai, Nochikara, Chikira, to actually reconnaissance, well, run reconnaissance over Numaya. At least then that's less effort of one force. I suppose we could probably get away with moving then just a little bit closer to Numaya. Though, frankly, I would rather move. I don't know. We'll try one hex here. I suppose the thing is, I do have 2 submarines over there, so if there's anything coming out of that port, at least the submarines may have a chance. We do have 2 or 3 heavy cruisers protecting the actual carriers. And also the carrier aircraft themselves, so... Destroyers too. Yeah, I mean, there's 3 heavy cruisers there. A couple destroyers. It's not the greatest amount of protection, but at least it's enough to ward off something like a PT boat, I'd imagine. At least I'd hope. We'll just have to accept that for the time being, I suppose. Right, so bigger question. What is your goal in having Kiributai there? There's no invasion force to support, no ships to sink, head directly east or north to get closer to a strike on Tarawa. It is a good question. I watched your Revolution Under Siege to learn how to play. I still don't know how to play it. My IQ's probably too low. Oh man, don't worry about that. It's not like a particularly difficult game. And with the Geod games, they're fairly simplistic in a lot of ways, because at the end of the day, it's like, the army with the most amount of power is more than likely going to win. I'd say the best Civil War, well, yeah, I'd say the best Geod game is Civil War 2, mostly because that game, I feel like it's the best performing one in terms of actual performance, and also, it's it's a very interesting scenario. It's a very interesting part of history, obviously, of the American Civil War. You do begin with the Union and the Confederates in a very different position, but the Confederates do have a chance to actually cause some really early damage and actually can really build on that. So it's a very good game. I definitely recommend checking that one out. Hello there, Epic Duck. How you doing, my friend? But yeah, to answer your question about Infinite Monkey, I suppose what we want to do here for the time being, then, is use Kidabutai to reconnoiter the areas around here. I don't know, I don't think I'll bother moving over here as such. It depends really on the amount of shipping. We do have a lot of submarines over here to cover this. I think the reason for this was obviously to cover the invasion forces moving south. But I think what we'll do then is we'll move over here in this next turn. I think after that we're going to be really moving probably towards Luganville or possibly even on towards Truck, depending on how the situation develops. What I'd like to do then is really have them go through some R&R. I don't believe I'm going to respond to a threat to the Marshlands if the Marshlands are attacked by a carrier. Unless it is in a position where I could actually respond to it, I'm not going to move over here to the Marsh Islands. Now, a strike at Tanawa would concern me greatly. But I think what we'd have to do then is... I suppose the way to work it is we'll head initially to Luganville. Ideally by that time we might have fuel nearby. We do have an oiler over here so we could potentially share some of the fuel out. And I would love to actually take out the airfields over here, but I suppose the thing is the airfield over here is no threat to us. Of course, I would like to build up an airfield over here, but that's going to take some time. We do have some aircraft tenders moving down here, so at least that'll give us something in a way of a background. Well, in a way of a boost, actually. No, don't worry about it, mate. Like, I'd love to see like a Grigsby's game set in like the Russian Civil War, the First World War. Well, I suppose the Russian Civil War would be rather interesting, but I suppose it'd be really an interesting one of how to actually simulate. I just think it'd be really cool. I just think that period of history definitely needs more coverage. Hello there, Rainbow Slash. For those of you who are somehow unaware of Rainbow Slash, he is a very fine World Warships streamer. Of course, he does other content as well, but the World Warship stuff is really worth checking out. He's big into his anime. Me and BDG are started up a CK2 games. I'm just a bit lurking. Nice. Trying to form a Neo-Carolingian Empire, or even a Neo-Merovingian Empire if you want to go like a little bit more retro. Okay, we'll go for that for now. What we're going to do then is make sure our reconnaissance is set up right. Okay, I'm going to have one squadron just run reconnaissance over Comac. Now, well, sorry, over Numea. Of course, we are aware that there's going to be a fair amount of AA there, so we'll run them a little bit higher. I'll run 2 squadrons, though, just to be sure. I'll run this one a slight bit lower. There we go, 2 squadrons will be enough, ideally. Right, naval surge. Of course, this is going to up the fatigue. I mean, they do have a fair amount of fatigue, but we should be able to manage that. Station some cruisers in the area to ward off the Allied cruisers once your CVs exit the area. Yep, I mean, what we could potentially do is... well, we do have the Nagato and Mutsu in the area, so that's a pretty fine strike force. I mean, what I'm going to do here is really seek to establish an airfield and to seek to establish actual naval bombers in the area. Kidabutai, I mean, as we discussed, I mean, we've been preparing for this operation for a while now. And we've always discussed the fact that Kidabutai is going to spend really no longer than a week here. And it doesn't mean that a week is the minimum. I mean, a week is the maximum amount of time that they would spend here. So I don't mind if we spend a day. I don't mind if we spend 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Obviously, I'd like to spend as little time here as possible. Because at the end of the day, if Kidabutai is here, it enables him to do things elsewhere. And I would, yeah, Kidabutai definitely needs some well-deserved R&R. Of course, I would like to rearm them as well, get the torpedoes back on board, and really just replace our A6M2 losses. That would be really good. That's what we need to do. Yeah, exactly. Just as Infinite Monkey says that, Kidabutai is not a reconnaissance asset, it is a strike. Anything that sees it needs to die soon after. Yep, exactly. Well, we've carried off our first initial strike. Of course, this is the day after the strike. I'm a little bit saddened by the fact that we didn't see a second strike here. We're spending one more day in the hopes it will see a second strike, but then obviously we will turn to Luganville and turn towards actually acquiring fuel. And then, depending on the situation, depending if we do see a strike towards a Midway, strike towards either Midway, Wake, or the Marshals, especially Tarawa, I would possibly respond to a attack on Tarawa due to the fact that there's a lot to lose then. I can't really defend it as easily. But the Marshals and Wake, Midway is on its own for the most part. Wake can kinda look after itself. It does have a okay amount of AA. But yeah, you should go seize Rebal and have a central staging ground. Yeah, it would be nice to seize Rebal, and I have been toying with that idea. But I suppose the thing is, we're not married to any idea here, really. It would be a shame if we were to head down to this area after all the, the amount of logistics that's gone into this. I do think it is a worthwhile task to dig him out of Noumea and out of New Caledonia, because it would give us a position down there that would really command the approaches to Australia and New Zealand quite decisively. Obviously, I would like to take Port Moresby in the future. But I suppose if we pull this off, it really does threaten Port Moresby to a degree. Also, we do have control of the Shortlands and Guadalcanal as well, so that's very beneficial. I suppose it's one of these things. We are going to be down here for a while, but we're definitely not married to any idea that it's going to see us just driven from the field, really. And by the way, if you hear a weird clicking sound, it's me lighting a candle. Oh no. Ah, there we go. I've got like a badass Bunsen burner, or whatever the hell we call it. It's a burner anyway, and it's really good. Good for lighting candles. Light of a candle going. But yes, moving on. Oh, you guys think, what the fuck is he on about? In reality, it's... I suppose we'll keep these guys on naval. Well, sorry, night search. It's not going to be the Navy that wins us the war, really. Not as such. I suppose I do need to run... well, actually, no, we do have 2 units running reconnaissance of Noumea. We do have a fair amount of information about Noumea. Not perfect, but it's a decent amount. Do you have a game as the Allies going? I don't, actually. I do have Warplan Orange here at the moment. I'm actually going to be playing this tomorrow night on the Matrix and Slytherin Twitch channel, so that's going to be quite fun. I think I'm going to be playing as... yeah, I might play as the actual Japanese in this one for that stream, possibly. Or maybe the Allies again. It's hard to decide. Also, this is a much older title. And I'd love to do like a second play-by-email series, but I think if I was to play a second play-by-email series in War in the Pacific, Admiral's Edition, I think I'd really look towards like the mods out there. Especially ones that really do impose limitations. I mean, such as having stack limits all over the entire map, really. That's quite a cool one. I like that. That, and yeah, there's a few out there that actually tries to make the game a little bit closer to reality. I like that. Admiral Yamamoto is rolling over in his grave with that statement. Indeed. Okay. We'll just double check this. Okay, so we have F1M2 Peter and Night Ops. Search is 100%, Reconnaissance is 0%, so we're having at least 2 aircraft go over there to, reconnoitre Noumea. That's good. Also, these guys, they really do need to have some repairs carried out. It'd be good to actually have Kirabutai able to achieve her maximum speed once again. And the way I really envision using our carriers is going to be something like this. Now, it would be great if we could actually establish Savai as a credible position. I think this is Canton and Baker Island. I mean, what I'd like to do is actually establish something like this. I mean, obviously Midway's really far out there, probably not very likely. So I suppose the way to consider that is Midway as an outpost. But we can probably do something with Wake. But yeah, what I'd like to do is really, and how I envision using the carriers, is I don't want to be on this side. I always want to be sort of... thinking of like a defense in depth. I don't want to have the carriers on the front line. I'd rather suffer pain on the front lines as his carrier or his strike forces move in. What I'd rather do is allow that to happen. Obviously we'd try to resist it, but I'd like to gather information then. And then have Kirabutai sally out to actually strike back at the enemy force over here. Rather than being on the front lines, and I do not want a Midway scenario. I don't want to battle the Coral Sea. We need that to never happen. Hello there, Satregard. How you doing, my friend? So that's kind of how I envision using the carriers. It's only really in the early phase of the war where we're going to be using the carriers as an offensive weapon as such. What I mean by that is we only have a certain length of time of which where, as a Japanese Empire, we are going to be able to go out on the offensive. Because the thing is, it's like, each island we take is another island that we potentially have to hold to a degree. The Allied forces obviously do have unlimited economy. They have an unlimited economy, to be honest. So, they'll keep gaining strength. So we do have to pick a point at which, yeah, enough is enough, and we dig in. And we're not too far away from that point. Obviously we'd like to take, well obviously we will take control of the Dutch East Indies. But we obviously do need to fortify here. Sorry about tripping over my words here. Getting a little bit excited. I was going to have a bit of coffee, but I don't have a bit of coffee. Hard times. Hard times. Okay. But that's really our movements over here then for Kirabutai. Am I moving the wrong force? 118. 118, yep, okay. 114, 154, 118, 162. Right, good. I'll just make sure of the actual... Actually, let's take a look at the actual aircraft settings over here. So the Zeros. They do have a little bit of fatigue. I think 50% is a decent number. Okay. What I am going to do here then is have 10% of the D3A1 vals. Actually run search as well. Same as the B5N2s. The reason for that is I'd like to at least try and spot something. We want to really be in a position where we might spot a threat coming in. Actually, hang on a second. Right, but at 10,000 feet there. Good, good. Okay. I do think the amount of resistance at Comac should be less, so I might go with about 10,000 feet. Yeah, we'll give it a go at 10,000 feet for reconnaissance. Now, the good news is we will have the D3A1s and the B5N2s to actually help us out with reconnaissance from the actual fleet itself. But I do need information on these islands. I mean, I don't think it's worth taking a look over here. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to have information then on the islands. At the end of the day, we don't know what's there, so it is worth finding out. What I'll do then is use the E7K2 and run reconnaissance over this island over here. Who knows, we might find something there that is worth knowing about. Okay, there we go. So I'm satisfied with that for Kitabutai. I mean, honestly, Kitabutai does take up a lot of time due to the fact that they are so very, very important. The rest of the turn shouldn't be too bad, actually. Now, we do have a decent amount of submarines over here. I think what we need to do then is take a look at the endurance of these submarines. We do have to assess the fact that they are going to be running out of fuel at some point soon. The good news is we will have our submarine tenders over here. They'll be arriving in the next 2 to 3 days, which is very good, as we'll have additional supply moving in over here as well. So we can begin to rearm our actual submarines over here, and possibly refuel. Refuel is going to be a difficult situation and an ongoing one. We are going to have to be quite picky about how much fuel we give them. But at least if we have a submarine base over here, that's going to make it much easier to really interdict over here. Not that I suppose, yeah, I don't think there's going to be much to interdict after the first initial days, really. So perhaps it may be worth it actually bringing some of our submarines home. Might not be a bad idea. I'm going to have them return to track. I mean, of course, they could be especially needed in the Marsh Islands if they're easy to carry a raid there. So I think if we have, yeah, I think the ones with about 3,000 will return home. And there's reasoning to this madness as well. I mean, due to the fact that, yeah, he's really quite aware of us here. We are going to run some reconnaissance over Suvan as well. I'll run that about, I'll run about 12,000 feet, actually. Obviously, it would be nice to try and gather an idea of what's changed over here. But yeah, we'll have our submarines go back, rearm, and redeploy elsewhere. Again, more reconnaissance over the island itself. If we can manage it, that'd be fantastic. Okay. But the thing is, these submarines could be used elsewhere. Now, there's a lot of submarines over here. Sorry, a lot of destroyers. A lot of submarine hunters over here. We do have to bear that in mind. I mean, this is why I need to have some sort of float craft out here to survive, or some sort of reconnaissance craft out there to survive. Obviously, it would be quite nice. I suppose for the time being, then. Now, there are 2 troop transports there, 2 APs. So what we'll do then is we'll continue to patrol, we'll patrol to the south, actually. The other submarine can cover the north. Move him about there. And what does your pilot training program look like? See, my pilot training program was actually set up by a viewer called Major Problems, I believe it is, 42. He's done a pretty good job. We have... Yep, let's take a look. So we do have centers for basically different areas of training. He's really grouped them as best as he can. So for example, over here in Marburn, we have... Yep, bombers. Transports over here. Fighters over here. Aye. What I'm actually going to do is take these forces over here, and if they're not in a base, I'm going to move them to a base. Unless they're static, in which I can't move them. These, oh wow, 2 divisions there, wow. Okay, what I'm going to do then is actually march these 2 divisions. We'll march them to the base over here. There we go. This base force could move as well. Few regiments over here, just on the... Yeah, not too far away from Vladivostok. See, that base there could actually be cut off quite easily. I'd be better off actually moving my units over here. Can you show pilots in your train squadrons? Yep, sure. There we go. So I'm going to move his headquarters into China. I'm going to move it over... Yeah, we'll send it to Kaifeng. Okay, we'll go and take a look over here. Oh dear, sorry. So what I'll do then is I'll scroll through this. If there's anything of interest, do let me know. And obviously I'd like to have a better pilot in here to lead that squadron. And it would be good to have somebody with at least like 81 experience. We'll be able to take them in the future actually from the frontline squadrons once they're not as sorely needed. There we go, I believe I went through them all here. Now, of course, we do have squadrons in Japan. We do have a odd few squadrons in China that are going through with their training as well. Right, okay. So we sorted our submarine movements over here, that's good. Now, as far as I can tell there, I mean, do you actually have a plane? I wish I had an aircraft. Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, we did see a lot of radioactivity over the Christmas Island. But we do see clear activity around Palmyra, so we'll go ahead and take a look over that way. Now, there's actually some valuable targets over here by Palmyra. Would be very nice, but well, obviously it'd be very nice to actually take those targets, but we'll keep an eye on this island. Our submarine I-19's undetected. The issue is obviously, seems to be a lot of patrol boats here, so we'll stay a little bit out of the port itself. Okay, so I still have a submarine over here by Lakeston Island. I'm going to keep that one in position there. I might have it patrol up and down from Lakeston Island to the French frigate shoal, as it already is. We did have some good success over here, but you're going to be heading now towards Palmyra as well. Yeah, we did hit a troop transport over here. Though you are low in ammunition. So I think what we'll do then is we'll have you return to truck as well. At least then you are going to be heading out here. I don't think you actually have an aircraft, do you? No, you do not. But it wouldn't be a bad idea to actually have them undergo repair, rearm. We need to look after our submarines. We don't get a huge amount of them. At least if they're moving around here. I'm really looking towards having some submarines available for the Marsh Islands in case there is some sort of raid. At least then we would be able to respond with a more subtle method. But I'd like to have the ability to redeploy them elsewhere. We do have a few submarines to keep tabs on these targets. Additional submarines moving to the coast. Okay, these submarines over here still undetected. I-5's moving in to join. Excuse me. I-1's moving there over north. I can only apologise here about this cough. I think I've got like a little bit of a cold here at the moment. In fact, I'm going to go get some water. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, there we go. I'm back now. Now that's going to be a very fun situation to take a look at. But one thing I want to do over here, we're not quite done with the South Pacific, but we're not too far away. I'll send them to react with one. Naval search, night operations there, night naval search basically. Okay, the Jakes are very important. Now you're still running Reconnaissance of Luganville. Right, that works for me. Now we do have the main body over here. Now they're still unloading at the moment. And they do have 776 tons of supply. We do have an additional like 14,000 tons of supply coming in. It is going to take some time to build up Luganville. Now what do I have in terms of transport capabilities? I have 3,310 there. Of course I do have the naval assets available in short order for fast transport missions. Yeah, light cruisers do that job quite nicely. We do have a couple more destroyers come in. We also do have these two ships over here will be available to move additional troops then afterwards. So Haruna Maru has great amount of troop capacity. Nitai Maru, she has pretty decent capacity there. So what I'm thinking here then is we do have 391 supply aboard here. I think what I'm going to do is actually have these ships retire to truck. And they are at the moment unguarded, which is not a great situation. But what I'd like to do is actually have them made available elsewhere in the Empire. I don't want to really have them just languishing around in the South Pacific. So we'll have them head back to truck and then head back home, really. We need to figure out an escort for them, however. So what I'm going to do here then is, let's see. I do have Isokazi over here. She does have a decent amount of fuel. It is only one destroyer, but she is actually damaged here. So what I'm going to do then is actually going to grab Isokazi. I guess it is reducing our numbers here by one destroyer. And it's only one destroyer to actually escort an entire little flotilla there. But it's better to have something rather than nothing. At least then we can actually have her sent back to truck to undergo some repairs as well, which is, it's nice, at least we do get that. Solves one of our issues really, doesn't it? Right, Gumburge. There we go. Yeah, I think it's worthwhile to have them head back home. We don't need all that many transports down here. Especially as we'll have a troop transport and a cargo ship that's had some of its cargo space actually converted to carry additional troops, so we'll have enough there to move them. Obviously we will have additional troop transports come in over time with fresh troops as we are going to build up our presence there. Right. Obviously I'd like to have you moved elsewhere. I'm going to dock you for the time being. Disband that task force as well, actually. We do have 26,000 tons of resources there. That's nice. I could even have that shipped over to the Philippines perhaps, or somewhere else with like a little bit of industry. Okay. Yeah, the Osaka Maru is very viable here. The Buenos Aires Maru, Huzi Maru. Yep, these are two of the troop transports that are going to be very handy. They do have great speed as well, that's the best part about them. Okay, you're still unloading your supply. Now the question is, do we want to have that much supply over here at Tarawa? What is our limit to supply here? Right, supply limit is 8,000. Maybe not worthwhile. 3,000 tons there. Would put us just about there. I suppose we could probably get away with that. You're still unloading. Okay, what I'm going to do is disband them for the time being. Now Kishima's over here. What I'll do then is... So we do have... Yeah, Kotori over here, she's carrying elements of the Maizuru 1st SLF. What I'm going to do then is actually grab the fast transport Kishima. We don't have any elements of the Maizuru left here. It's a dangerous area to head into the Marshals, actually. I would have loved to have actually used them to move some, naval assets or maybe some, aviation assets between the islands. But it's not really a good idea to do that as of yet. Now, I could try to sneak a force into Survey. Maybe. It would be risky, but I think it'd be worthwhile if I could actually get some engineers down there. I could always have them flown in, though. Which is probably, yeah, we'll go with that. We'll fly the engineers down to Survey rather than actually send a ship down there, and that'd be a risky move. And what other elements do we have down here, then? So we have the 61st Naval Guard. Okay, just patrol around Tarawa. Yeah, you're patrolling here too. It would be taking some engineers away from here that would be valuable elsewhere. Okay. Well, what we're going to do then, I'm not going to take the engineers actually. What I'm going to do is set up a fast transport mission. So I'm going to use the Kashima and the AMC Osaka Maru. They have the same speed. Really, yeah, I mean the AMC Osaka Maru is going to be doing a lot of the carrying here. But I can have the Kashima Escorter, and obviously they can both help each other out. So what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to load up, let's see, so I have the 61st Naval Guard here. 346 troops. I have the elements of the 66th Naval Guard here. Hello there, Kevin. The run's really good so far. We do have a solid opportunity down here, we just need to make the most of it. Right. So you have on board the Maizuru 1st SNF. Over here we have the 61st Naval Guard and 144th Regiment. We are sending additional troops from the north over here. I don't think it'd be a bad idea to actually take a look at sending an additional force over here then to actually strengthen our position. I do have the 52nd Naval Guard. Now is this the full unit? No, there's elements over here at Canton and Baker Island, as well as Tarawa. Yeah, the 66 is spread out to a decent degree. Now it's only 308 infantry, 12 guns and 752 support, but that's pretty decent. I think what I'll do then is send the majority of the 52nd Naval Guard to Luganville, or even to one of the other islands there to secure it as well. Probably to Luganville. But having that additional... Yeah, there's additional mortars, AT guns. I mean, the mortars are going to be mostly useful. The AA is going to be handy as well. But having the support and the infantry would be nice. I do want New Caledonia. I do want to take control of Noumea. I do think it is a threat in the fact that it's the one real island out there that I can't starve into submission. It is in a strategically important position as well. It would really dictate control of access to Australia and to New Zealand. At least to the main bases in Australia. I don't think it's a terrible idea. We can always change our minds later. Yeah, but... I did it. It's only a small unit there, 21 AV. But that 21 AV could make a big difference in reality. Now... I'm going to turn on load troops only. I don't want to take too many supplies away from Tarawa. Yeah, so we'll set the load there. Okay, they're going to begin to load. What I'm going to do then is tell them, give them orders then to head to Luganville. Your home port is Tarawa. So once you're done, I'd like you, obviously not full speed, but I'd like you to retire once you're finished. I love AMCs, they're so goddamn handy. And I really do like these light cruisers as well. They do come in real use. Hmm. 100% ammunition, 100%, right, okay. Now we're still unloading over here. I think what I'll do then is I'll allow that to continue. I'm not going to cancel that for the time being. So they're not going to be leaving there as of yet. But it would be nice, yeah, we could do with the additional supply here at Wake, as we might not always have the opportunity to get additional supply there. How much can we actually handle at Wake? Actually quite a lot there, surprisingly large amount. Surprisingly large. I mean, Wake really can't build up that much more. I mean, it's kind of at its max already, but that's actually surprisingly large amounts of supply there. I really want to pick up the rest of the 24th Infantry Regiment. Right, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to continue to have the AMCs make their way south. The day after... I mean, this is it. Do we have them head out and meet the AMCs? There's a lot of supply to leave behind. What I'm going to do, I'm going to leave behind the destroyer tender. Leave you there. Cancel the unloading. I'm going to go ahead and meet Task Force 353. It is going to slow them, but it will mean that I can actually refuel them at sea. It then also means I do have elements of the 24th Infantry Regiment that could even be sent down to aid in the New Caledonia operation. There's always a risk that they get hit by the submarine over here. There's always that risk. If they do get hit and they survive, they'll have to just sort of chill out at Wake Island until we could do something about it, or unless they're actually hit by carriers. But yeah, we really can't afford to just stay static as such. There's a very real threat that carriers are in the area. There's a very real threat in general here. And considering that there's a large amount of warships, I mean, obviously we do have the naval bombers, but that's no guarantee of defense. Okay. Really need to improve the security here at track. Okay. They're gonna load fuel. It's a shame that this Arta is so slow, really. And watching this while playing Rule the Waves as Austria-Hungary, I seem to keep getting into wars when I'm at a disadvantage. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play Rule the Waves again in the future. I've missed that game. God, I remember playing that years ago. Very much looking forward to Rule the Waves too, that's gonna be awesome. We're gonna have... yeah, I think we'll make do with this. Do we have any additional oilers over here then at track? We do not. I'm going to keep the tankers here. I think what we'll do then is actually unload the tankers. I think at the end of the day, I'd rather... see, these small tankers I can keep loaded because I can move them out without worrying too much. Yeah, but what I'll do is actually give them a patrol boat here as well. Just in case. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to have them... I want them to unload their cargo. I want them to unload this fuel over here at track. Okay, so it seems as far as it goes to like actual stockpiles, basically infinite over here at track. But yeah, I don't want those tankers to be targets. I'd rather have the fuel actually in the, well, on the island of track rather than on the actual transports. If we need it, we can always transfer it onto the actual tankers, no issue. What I'm going to do then is actually form additional ASW patrols. I'm going to form some gunboats if I have the option to as well. I absolutely need to turn Truck into a fortress. In effect, this is my Pacific Gibraltar. And it will play a very interesting role in the future. I can only have some midget subs. And the question is, really, how effective could the Type 95 light tanks and Type 89 medium tanks be at, let's say, like, Numa? No, really. I think I will have them sent back. So at the end of the day, 144 vehicles is actually quite a nice amount. Obviously, not all of that is vehicles. Sorry, not all of that is AFVs, but that's still quite handy. See, there is a part of me that thinks I'm gonna suggest this and see what you guys think. See, we do have the Rabal over here. Now, Rabaul is obviously quite a nice port there. Quite nice port, quite nice airfield. It's on the island of New Britain. Now, New Britain does control the Solomon Sea and it controls the Bismarck Sea. I'm half considering actually, It really depends on the amount of resistance that is actually over here. But from what we can see over here then, we do have troops over here. We do have a regiment over here that could be made ready to attack Rabaul. Obviously that really does depend on the amount of garrison at Rabaul. But I suppose the thing is it worth it to take Rabaul? What does taking Rabaul really do for me? It helps to secure my flank. But the thing is, am I wasting my time taking Rabaul when I should obviously concentrate on one target at a time? I think it's an option to bear in mind. We are going to be running additional reconnaissance over Rabaul. If the island is lightly garrisoned, and I mean lightly garrisoned, I'll look at making some provisions to actually have it taken. But I think these vehicles and the artillery, I think it does need to go to New Caledonia. I think while we have, I suppose, somewhat supremacy in the area, we can move these assets down there. It would be probably a good idea. I don't know how effective they're going to be in the jungles, but I think at the end of the day, it would be nice to actually have some armoured support there. That could make a big difference, especially when it's supported by artillery and troops. And the thing is that Mersing, he didn't really have the armour, so maybe... I just think we're going to really commit to it. I think we'll commit to one target at a time, so yeah, we'll commit to Noumea. So I'm going to tell them to begin to plan for Noumea. I'll tell the artillery to begin planning for Noumea as well. This artillery, yeah, imagine the artillery and vehicles could be really very handy. Especially the artillery. The artillery is going to be extraordinarily handy. Okay. I do have some SLF over here. Obviously it's a very small unit. We'll see about having them loaded. How much does it actually cost to transport them? 4914 cargo. 2180. There's no troop cost involved here, it's all cargo. Right. See, that would take me to 4030. Which is shy. Yeah. Well, this is it. I mean, if his carriers do attempt to hit track, obviously that would be a bad day. Kidabutai is going to make its way back to track over the course of the next month, really. We do have a fair amount of naval bombers over here in the area. We are really trying to spread them out to a degree to make them harder to take out. And obviously to cover the greater area. It'd be brave to try and strike a track. But it could be done. The issue is there's a lot of submarines here in the area. We do need to try and maintain assets in a certain location. A lot of these assets will be sent away when needed to. Issue is I don't want to be going willy-nilly when it comes to fuel at the moment. Right, we do have the 21st Air Flotilla here. Now Nishima. So yeah, could have you actually converted to an AKE, and that's really, really, really good to have. I'd like to do that. What I'm going to do is actually have the Nishima transferred out. It is actually going to speed up this force as well. Might speed it up. But I'd like to see if I could actually have that converted over here at truck. No, I can't, because I don't actually have any repair shipyards. Boo. It could come in handy. Yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, if one of his carriers were damaged, he'd really have to think about just leaving it behind and getting his other carriers out. Because at the end of the day, well, then that is it. It's a really interesting question, because it's like, would you leave it behind? Maybe. I suppose it's one of these things of, does he ensure... Well, ideally trying to ensure the rest of the carriers survive, but it means that one is definitely doomed, or does he run the potential of all of them being doomed? But the opportunity to escape might be there. See, that worries me quite a lot when they're unescorted. I'm going to combine these units here. You know, I'd completely forgot that I'd sent the 11th Fleet out here. The Air Fleet's out here. Is this the last part of the turn? Probably the last part of the turn. Probably the last part. Actually, no, I'm going to keep these forces together. It would be nice to have some additional aviation engineers available to move. Okay, whereabouts is the Air Flotilla headquarters? So that's the 11th Air Fleet. There's the 21st Air Flotilla. Actually, bugging it, we'll keep that force with us then. Right, okay, well that's actually really good timing then. So the 11th will come in here then shortly. Along with our first raiding regiment in the Yokosuka. What I'd like to do with the Yokosuka and the raiding regiment is, depending on the situation, I'm kind of envisioning we take control of Rabaul. Now, really depending on what sort of resistance he could have at Port Moresby, we might even consider using paratroopers. But I'd like to use paratroopers to potentially like secure places like Horn Island, maybe. The reason for that is I really would love to lock down the Torres Strait. We'll see, we could have a lot of uses for them. It would be nice to actually use them to support our landing operations, really. They're a very interesting unit, and I'd like to really try to use them. Wouldn't be a bad idea to use them actually to land on some of these bases out here. Basically secure them, then pick them up later. But we'll see, we'll see. Lots of, a lot of options, really, isn't there? Lots of options. Well, it'd be good to actually have the Air Flotilla in here. Remember the barges. Yeah. Are we talking about creating barges? I'm just trying to think if I've missed anything, actually. What I'm going to have them do is actually begin to load up the 8th Tank Regiment. They can't take it all, but that's fine. Hello there, I know. I'll have them take on some supply as well. They'll not be able to carry much in the way of supply, actually, to be fair. Yeah. I'll have them begin loading. At the end of the day, once we do have another cargo ship over here, which we'll have in the next 2 to 3 days, then I'll load the entirety of the 8th Tank Regiment on board, and then we can have it sent over here to Luganville and ultimately over here to New Caledonia, or even elsewhere, but it'd be good to actually get them loaded and get them ready to be moved to wherever the hell we desire. Now, I'm not particularly happy that this force is unescorted. I'm going to have it sent over here to Iniwitok. The reason for that is I'd like to actually go ahead and have that established as an additional airbase, really. It would give us an island airbase between Wake, Roy Namur, Track, something at the centre of the triangle here. Plus, I also do not want it to head towards Truck with no actual escort, because that'd be kind of crazy. Okay, now the AMCs over here. They do have the honour of picking up the newly formed 84th Naval Guard. There we go, accept. They can load some additional supply if they so wish to do so. I'm not going to let them load too much, so... I wish you could set them a limit of how much supply to actually load. But I'd probably set them a limit of maybe like 2,000 tons. I don't think they really need too much, because obviously I'll have units in the area by that time with additional supply. If we'd obviously use them in a location. Well, use them for amphibious landings, really. What I'll do then is... let's see. Load troops only. There we go, done. Let's take a look at Saipan. At the moment at Saipan we're expanding basically everything here. Which is probably not the best thing to do, all at once. Considering we only have 12 engineers. I'm just going to focus on the airfield. Or maybe even the fortifications, but then again it's pretty difficult. Well, expand the airfield, that's easy to expand. I'm going to build fortifications here. I know I've been stopping and starting this for ages, but I do need to fortify that. Right. I know a few of them are actually not able to be used right now. But what I'm going to do here then is transfer about about 3 of them to KWJ. I'm going to tell them to, let's see, troop transport. Elements of the 6th Fleet. I'm going to use them to move some additional naval support over here to Track. We don't need too much to be able to rearm. I think we'll be able to rearm like battleship guns aboard the Hiei and Kirishima then at least. Okay, I'm not particularly happy that they're basically out there with no escort. What we'll do then is we'll have you head towards Saipan for the time being. I don't want to be having them out there. Though, actually, you know what? We'll have them move over here to Inuitok. For the time being. It'd be nice to leave behind a little bit of supply there to actually build up an airfield. That wouldn't be too bad. At least it takes them out of the danger for the time being. And of course there is the danger of a carrier raid here, but we'll offload some additional supply. Actually, there's about 2,800 tons here. That's not too bloody bad, is it? 1,200 tons of fuel too. Not bad, not bad. Head to Saipan. I do have the Miyoko Maroon. She's a Kyushu. Now, she could be converted into some really, really fine ships here. It would be nice to actually consider doing something like that, as it would obviously give us additional reach out there in the future. She'll still have some cargo capacity, but obviously not as much. But it would be nice to actually have those additional support ships available. Okay. About a day away. Fuck. Right, there we go. So what do we have here then on the island? An engineer regiment, engineers. Elements of the 66th Naval Guard. We do have the Bandasan SLF. So you'd have actually not taken a look at. The Kure SLF. Yeah, that's actually a full-size unit there. I do have the Sasebo 2nd SLF as well, and that's a full-size unit. Okay. I'm gonna transfer out the Kashiwa Maru. She's too slow, really. I'd like to give the speed uniform. Okay. So I'm gonna load these 2 units over here. I don't have the full amount of troop capacity. I'm sure I'll have some forces over here that can actually do the job too. Most likely. What I'm thinking here is we can actually use those 2 units actually to invade parts of Mindanao. We'll see. There's a lot of choices to be made here, really. just gonna plot this out, really. Right. They'll be covering this area anyhow. What I'd like to do here then is there's always a possibility he might actually run down this way. So I'm going to try and lock off this half of the setup SC. So then what I'm going to do is actually move the carriers down this way. Hello there, Major. No, don't worry about it, man. We do have that literally in the works as we speak. So for example, we do have this force which is loading up, and we literally did just discuss 2 moments ago actually about hitting Mindanao. I do have 3,432 infantry here to hit either Mindanao or obviously to hit the southern coast of Borneo. Ideally Borneo. I might even just have them all concentrated against Balikpapan. We'll see. Big new question. When you select any task force, you get a green and sometimes yellow circle. I guess the green is travel during the day. I believe green is basically the travel during the day and night, or night. I think it's the night. I suppose it would be the night, during the night. I don't know, day and night. I'm just going to say it's basically the travel that it can do in a single turn, I suppose. Yellow is what it can't do. Take tonight or base nearby and get flow planes in the region. Yeah, that'd be quite nice. I mean, it would be really good to have something here. I was considering actually taking a look at Manadu. That might be decent enough. So long as a good base for it. Ah, right, yes, over here. Wouldn't be a terrible idea. I think we'll take a look and we'll assemble our forces. I'm going to have these men here really concentrate on Balikpapan. Would be nice. There's 2,400 units here. What's the terrain like? Clear and clear. I'd obviously have to go over the river though, that's the issue. Yeah, Submarine does have a size 2 port and a size 3 airfield. That's not a lot of men though. I feel like we could potentially take that if we build up a decent enough strength. It would be nice to take an island out here, I do agree with that. Ah, there we go. Green means max distance at cruise speed. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Majors answered that really well there. Nice and succinctly. Yeah, so what we're going to do here then is going to move the Singapore Express down this way. We do see masses of cargo ships over here. There's always a chance he might head back into the Philippines, but the thing, the Philippines will be conquered soon enough. Yeah, that's true. So wrong, then Ambon, then Kendai helps lock down the Eastern Dutch East Indies. That's true. I do have the carrier in the area. I do have to, well, I have Zuiho and Ryujo. I'm going to be using them really to try and lock down this area. I mean, they've already arrived and caused a lot of damage, which is fantastic. But I will definitely do that. I just want to actually really expedite taking Mindanao and then obviously hitting the southern coast of Borneo. Right, so we'll be launching our attack over here at Clark with 3 divisions. Obviously it'd be nice to have additional forces, but we're not so blessed. Oh, thank you very much for Charles. Or cows. Thank you very much. Great news, I'm following both you and THG. Yeah, I mean, that's the best way to follow it, really. I mean, we do have very different styles, but at the end of the day, it's nice to have really the opposing view and really the view from the other side. It really does make it just so very interesting. I have to say, been impressed with your sub-operations the past several days. We've had damage to our submarines. We've had more damage than I would have liked, but we've been really... Yeah, they've been doing fairly well. They've been doing some fair work for us. Okay, so that's going to be headed down here. That's fine. Interesting, I've actually got a submarine over here, but on island. I need to move this unit as well, this Sasebo. And that's a full-blown unit that's really just sat there doing F all. And it's got 100 plan as well, so it could get 33 plan for wherever the hell it wants to go. I'd like to use this unit. We'll have it moved when we can. I do have my transports. Yep. Now the main thing here is we do have the Shinshu Maru. She's going to be very, very vital in future. I just completed my first game, got my arse handed to me as Germany, but damn, Berlin hell for almost 6 months. Man, that's pretty awesome. What is it you're playing there, Cranium? Is it a carrier docked in Vietnam? Yes. We do have the 2 CVs over here. Tayo and Hosho. Okay. So I'm going to say this area is done. Right, now moving to the Marianas. You're currently on your way down to track. I mean, that's additional 3 oilers. That's going to come in very handy. Mizuho as well. Now, we do have a very interesting question. Do we redivert the convoys? Do we have the convoy heading from Port Arthur to Fukuoka? Do we redivert that? Do I instead have it potentially head over here into Kijo? What makes me wonder is... There is a lot of allied submarines down there, granted, but we do have a fair amount of patrol boats. And in fairness, what I'm going to do is actually have a patrol here, this area. Seems like he's really focusing on this point here, beyond the Tsushima Strait. Now, his dud rate is well, it's actually pretty large here, and it's going to be fairly large for a little while. I suppose the thing is, it's like, is it worth it to get the resources in? I think I might go with the cautionary... Yeah, we'll go with the cautionary method here at the moment. I think what I'll do is I'll actually have it head into Kijo. Yeah, pretty much. It was getting Grigsby's one of the east. I just wanted to see how long you could hold Berlin when I lost Moscow. And the south broke. Yeah, no, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. We'll head to Kijo. Day and night naval search, ASW air and naval asset. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Submarines are the only warships Japan builds a lot. About 100 during the war. It's the only category where Japan can be compared to the USA. That's true, actually. Pretty cool, actually. Yeah, I'll have them sent to Kijo. Obviously, they'll make their way down here to Fusan. I suppose it's one of these things we'll have to accept for the time being. Also be building up Fusan to max port. Yeah, we have the main amount of our effort here concentrated at Fusan. A huge amount of engineers. 534 engineers and 22 vehicles. Quite a lot of engineering value for us. The port is size 6 at the moment. It's not too far now from size 7. I mean, Fusan's really going to be very important. I have just one question. How do you go back to playing simple games like Victorian 2 with Hearthstone 3 Black Eyes? See, the thing is with like Hearthstone 3, it's actually quite a hard game, especially Black Eyes. The thing is, you have to understand a lot of like modifiers, and I think you have to have a certain skill set to play games like that. But not pushovers, really. It's not easy to control something in real time. Of course you can pause it, but it's relatively real time. You have to be good at planning. Victoria 2, I love Victoria 2 for the fact of, it's just so really nice to have like a population. That's what I love about Victoria 2 is the population. I also do like starting like obscure nations and just doing crazy shit. Like an idea I've got at the moment. I've seen a few posts on the subreddit basically like taking over Australia with like random countries. So I've kind of got an idea for trying to like do a run and having like Austrian Australia, because that'd be pretty amazing. But yeah, you can do a lot there. I like doing shit like that. Okay. It's a real shame the Allied ASW gets uber good later in the war, yeah. Okay, so we're going to concentrate on our patrol boats over here. And fuel's a big issue. Tsushima does have some fuel though, so that's fine. To be honest, I could even have them like based, just really one of the bases over here, really. Masan be fine. We will have, I think, about another 47 patrol boats coming online within the month. And that is what Paradox is best for, the what-if machines. I do a lot of one country focus on one thing, like playing Brazil and just doing Marines. Yeah, that's pretty cool. See, I do have some motor gunboats and motor torpedo boats. Definitely. Yep, absolutely. Shame I can't create more of them. Right, in fairness, he's not doing anything down here in the south. You should play some Aurora Forex. Maybe one day. Yeah, I know, right? It's a crazy series, that one. Like, it was so bad. It was like me learning the game, basically. It wasn't very good. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. See, I find Aurora, like, easier. I just wish the game ran better, really. But, I mean, Aurora Plus or C Plus is coming out at some point in the future, so that'll be quite good. I'm looking forward to using Titans, that'd be great. Yeah, it's a really good game. I really like that sort of logistics. Yeah, Stellaris really kind of sucks. Distant Worlds universe is really good. That's really good. Hello there, Sevi. Liberation of Caledonia going yet? Not yet. It is going to be in the works. I'm really looking to move additional troops down to Luganville and build up an airfield first. Sorry. But it is in the works. See, I've got a few troop transports over here and a couple sub-chases, don't I? Yeah, to be honest, I did a series not too long ago, but it's... I don't know, it just didn't have the numbers really to make it particularly worthwhile doing. Maybe in the future I'll do another one. I do have to relearn the game again to a degree. Okay, what am I going to do with these guys? What should I do with them? I could do with these sub-chasers in the north. Yeah, I can't wait for Aurora C+. I just got fed up after the 5th system also with Aurora, when it's fair clicks to relocate stuff. Yeah, that's really what it needs to improve on. The fact is, you never really got much chance to play the game due to the fact that the game would just slow down to an absolute crawl pretty quickly. But combat was one of those very interesting things. It's like it was super, super gritty, but really satisfying if you made a working design. Ah, God, yeah, can you imagine like a multiplayer? That'd be amazing. Right, I'm in fact going to have them head over here to Kagoshima first. They've been loading oil all this goddamn time. Yeah. Oh man, that'd be awesome. You know, I've not actually watched the 3rd season of The Expanse. It was really a good 2nd season. God, you know, I think my favourite character was Miller. I think his name was Miller. I just thought he was fantastic. He was really... Is it Miller? What the hell do they call the detective? I don't think it's Miller, is it? I can't remember what his name is. But the detective, I thought he was a fantastic character. I thought he was really well acted. I thought he had a really good backstory. I just thought it was really, really good. And I love it, the fact that he's on, what is it now, Phobos. Yeah, Phobos, I believe it is. And he's watching the Mormon ship come towards Phobos, and it's like, that was an awesome moment. Really, really cool. Yeah, those tankers at Taihoko are too big to the port, yeah. Hell, just Aurora just in the Solar System would be another faction, yeah. Yeah, I really would like to read the books in the future, actually. I'm going to have them stop loading oil here, and actually, I do need to have something there. Yeah, Miller. Yeah, that's it. Miller's fantastic. Really, really impressed by him. Okay, so I do have 3 transports over here. I'd like to get some of these assets moving out of here. Do AA guns damage infantry and AFVs when they are attacked? Oh, that's it. Yeah, they do. There's so many things here that I need to move. Right. I'm going to begin moving the AA forces first. I'll leave... Right, Field AA Gun Company. I'll leave one of those. Ah. Fair enough, we can only take that, that's fine. Yeah, you're right. They're not really serving much of a purpose, they're only really there just to draw some oil, really. Hello there, Mister. How you doing, my friend? And they've been going live for quite a while. I'll organise and I was going to have them moved out. How are you today, XRG? Not too bad, my friend. Not too bad at all. I do have a bit of the old cold at the moment. My voice is on and off sometimes. I have to go and get some water every now and then. Usually I can go for hours and not have issues. Check the cargo plan, tab in the track, tell you how much oil. Yeah, that's a good one. Did he? I didn't realise Adam Savage made a cameo. I must have missed that one. That's pretty awesome. See, I really like the intro. Like, the music is fantastic. It's really, really awesome. It's a good show in general, to be honest. But I really did like Miller. It was a shame that he died. But he died in a... Yeah, I mean, he died the way that made sense. It's like it rounded up his plot. I just thought it was really good. Really liked it. Okay, so now we do have a large fast transport force over here. Now, on board we do have a fair few engineers. I think what I'm going to do here then is, let's see. Right, fair amount of disruption there. That's pretty cool there, Major. Now, never apologise, my man. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell them to actually unload here. That's fine by me. What I'm going to do then is, once they are fully unloaded and reorganised, I want to get rid of that disruption. I also do not want to be carrying off those engineers. I want to have a good idea of what I've got. I'm really considering actually a strike towards Singkawang. Now, I do have some A6M20s over here as well. Part of me thinks we have them run long-range combat patrol over the carriers, but I think they can look after themselves for the most part. I'm going to have them continue to run combat patrol over this port, well, this base over here in Marie. Especially now, because we do have a fair number of ships here. He's going to be more than likely aware of something. So you're running reconnaissance over Balikpapan. I'm going to run reconnaissance over Samarinda. You're in reconnaissance over Balford. Tarakan. And did you talk to THG about moving forces out of China? I did, but he hasn't got back to me on that one. He's a bloody busy guy and it's sometimes bloody hard to get an answer out of him. I'll keep badgering him. It's all I can do it at the moment, to be fair. Check all stockpiles at Taihoku, sure. I think they're really low actually, which is why they're not loading. Yeah, there's no oil here. I don't know if that wasn't like anything serious. All we were doing there is just draining the oil, to be fair. I've had them basically stay there all this time, just in fact I've not really had a escort just free to escort them back. Okay, so let's consider the role of the escort carriers here. How many A6M2s do you need to replace the losses in Kitabutai? I think we lost something in the region of about 50 or so, didn't we? Which was fucking ridiculous amounts. Yeah, 6 tanker crews fighting over 8 barrels of fuel. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the card games they have to play? That's fucking hilarious. I think that could be like a short story in of itself. That would be rather amusing. The barrel wars. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, that really is. How the hell do I use this force? That's a bloody question. I really don't want to bring them close over here, due to the fact that there's a fair amount of air power the Allies still have. It could be potentially useful over this way. But I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of, like, using all that fuel. I think for the time being, they don't have as much of a purpose yet. Not one I can really say, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We'll see. See, I've been considering for a while now, a little while, do we actually have the convoy, well, the carrier escorts? And do we have them potentially sent to truck in the future? The reason being, well, then again, we'll consider that one. I'll have to think more on that one. Have you read any of Mike Solly's stuff on the Matrix forums? I think I've dipped in and out, but do feel free to leave a link there on the Discord. See, I do have 4 light cruisers over here as well. We also do have the Kitakami. Kitakami being a fucking amazing asset. Look at those bad boys. I love that. I would like to keep the Kitakami just in reserve, just for that ability alone would be amazing. Especially in fleet battle. What do I do with the rest of the cruisers here, like Kuma, Kinyu, and Yura? Now, Kishino really is needed in the Pacific. Let's see, what do we have here? Right, okay. What we're going to do is we're going to escort the Kishino. Oh, wow. That's really impressive. Yeah, I mean, if you wouldn't mind linking to those articles he's written, that'd be really nice. Right, so Kishino is going to be escorted. That's only let me choose from the actual destroyers here. So let's see here, then. I'm going to have to just change it to like a transport. Right, Yora and Kinyu. I'm going to have the Kuma sent over... It's more hype than anything. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's got to actually hit, hasn't it? It has to hit. But I like it. I do like the idea. I think it's one of those things where if our luck is in, then that would be amazing. I'd like to keep in reserve. Yeah, I'm considering here, do we have... I think what we'll do then is we'll have just the Yora escort the Kishino. Thank you very much there, Major. That's appreciated. Okay, I'm going to have you load supplies here. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to use the 2 light cruisers in a fast transport. We're going to have them head over to Pescadores. And they're going to go ahead and pick up some AA assets. Either AA, maybe AA and an engineer unit. It's not a bad idea. Yeah, it would be nice if you could actually specify like target. That would be really, really nice. Or like what range to use that weapon at. That'd be amazing. Right, unloading has been stopped and they're going to go out to Mersing this turn. Which is probably good as we are expecting an attack here. If the Kitakami picks a bad target like a DD, it will fire all of the torpedoes. Ugh, god, that sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, oh god, yeah, I mean, it is a very good aerial denial weapon. Like, you do not want to be in the way of fucking 20 torpedoes. Fuck that shit. Obviously, we wouldn't have to fire all 20 torpedoes at once, I mean, fuck. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay. Right, we do detect a lot of activity over here. There's only 2 fighters here. No, I do have 2 groups of G3M2s. You're still assigned to the 22nd Air Flotilla. We have over here then 3rd Air Division. Hello there, Blinson. So for those of you who are somehow unaware, our friend here, R. Blinson, is the Battle Group Gamer on YouTube. Definitely worth checking out. Does a lot of content. He does War in the Pacific as well as World of Warships. Definitely worth checking out. Pretty cool dude. I used to think he was Malaysian or Singapore, well, a Singaporean. Turns out he's neither, and he's actually American, so who fucking knew? The guy's, I don't know, he's like a living saint or something like that. Sucky sucky, $5, pretty much, when it comes to shoutouts here. Well, the issue is in the game, it does fire all 20 torpedoes at once. Yeah. Really good at creating a wall of skill. I like that one. Okay, what do you guys think then? We have detected a lot of activity over here at Rangoon. Now, I don't know if that is accurate that they're all harbour defense motor launchers. I'm kind of considering like a port attack over that way. Though it might be best just to like cover the waters outside Rangoon. Which we are doing anyhow. I think this will be sufficient for the time being. I mean, I could go with a port strike there, but I don't really have any information. Yeah, more recon then decide. Yeah, that'd kind of suck, wouldn't it? She's not exactly amazing, but I'm going to use her as a... she's not very good on reconnaissance. The Sonoyas. They do have a camera. They're better. Okay. We actually do have a few of them. What's the range? Yeah... Right, so from Bangkok, that's 9 hexes. I might have to cover from the Mabels. We'll give it a bloody go. They're not very good, but it'd be nice to have some sort of reconnaissance over the area. Oh, can I actually not transfer them? Awkward. Yeah, we're going to have to get some reconnaissance out there. So I think what we might do then is use the G3s actually for that purpose. About 12,000 feet, perhaps. We'll make about 15,000 feet. 12,000 feet will be fine. Yeah, we'll run some reconnaissance with the G3M2s. Now, how far away is Rangoon? That is 17 hexes, so not quite at the limit of their range, but obviously it's quite far out there. I could always have that squadron transferred to Bangkok But obviously I don't think I'd be able to use the torpedoes. But obviously they'd be much closer. What's the aviation support like? It's not... Ooh, yeah, it's really not good. Ah, actually. 6 hexes away, so still not enough. Yeah, it would be really nice. Issues, I don't know. Okay, we'll transfer an actual dedicated reconnaissance craft. Yeah. And obviously that's harder when you have less skill anyhow. Okay. We'll cover this area fairly heavily then. Also, we'll run our reconnaissance and see if there's anything worth over there. Well, hitting a Rangoon. Now, we did have some really good success, actually, at Singapore. I think we'll continue that formula. Fatigue is building, unfortunately. That squadron's doing quite well. Right, what we're going to do is turn the replacements off for the ones I don't want. I want to build them up squadron by squadron. Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, to be honest, we've only just entered 1942. We've only just gone from December to January. I need more of these reconnaissance planes, definitely. I wonder if that's been why we've been taking so many casualties. Is that really your range? Wow. Okay, so we're going to hit Medan twice. Okay, we'll continue to run sweep at Medan. Right, Low Star obviously needs more fuel. Well, more supplies. I think that's coming from the expansion of the airfield. We'll continue. Not too far now, we may arrive there next turn if we're looking. Looks like they've just arrived this turn. Yep, seems you've just arrived. And the question is, I'm using my KA-43-1Bs actually to run combat air patrol over Mersing. I suppose I'll continue that. They're not doing an amazing job, obviously, because they are pretty outgunned. But I can't really allow him to continue just to, well, bombard with no worries. So we'll continue. It's not very effective, but at least it's producing results. And do you speak Malaysian? Unfortunately not. I only speak English, to be fair. I do know bits and bats of other languages. I mean, I should really make an effort in the future to learn another language. Wouldn't kill me. Okay, so things continue over here as per usual. Right, now China. I have the 38th. Still can't be rebuilt. We are still waiting for it to be uniform. Kukong Wu Chao. Which one would be easier to get to? Well, this one would be easier to take, so we'll plan for Lu Chao. Right, they're moving. They're not too far away. Oh, we don't want to go into the mountains because it is... yeah. We do have a unit moving over here to Burma. Only a small unit. It's just not great terrain. I'm going to transfer them to Hong Kong for the time being. I'd like to have them sent to Malaya. They might actually have an ability. Well, they might actually be able to take on maybe the B-17s. Oh yeah, I doubt he's going to be attacking me through Burma. It's really just logistical hell. It still has a fair few units out here. Okay, so we're going to be sending a unit of armor here. It's been rather fun, the fact that he's actually, yeah, decided to evacuate Chengchao. I think we'll be able to face him here. To be honest, I could even move additional forces, so he'll be facing an even larger army. But we'll see. I think other than that, we really have the vast majority of our stuff under wraps. See, I do have this division over here that I can actually send elsewhere now. Where to send it, that's the question. Obviously I can't send it over here as of yet. Can you invade Russia? If we wanted to die, we could, but I suppose it is a possibility. Right, I'm going to have it sent over here to Kaifeng for the time being. Seems like a waste now that we planned all this time for Chengchao and it's not really going to be the target. I'm not going to get rid of the planned bonus until we get there, and then we'll start planning for Luoyang. Okay. So our forces over here will arrive next turn, yep. Now, see, this is a thing that I do wonder about. I don't think we want them in combat mode, because obviously, yeah, I think we need them in movement mode. Or what do you guys think then? Should we have them in combat mode for when they arrive, or do we want to just keep them in movement mode? It doesn't matter. Okay. Well, that's fair enough. We'll move them in combat mode then. I suppose it really only matters like when it's actually combat. Okay. Yeah, I know, they're pretty close. Yeah, we'll be taking a look at that shortly, Cola. They've made some really good progress. The 13th will be there, ideally next turn too. Yeah, I can imagine. And we managed to avoid the river over here, which is probably why he's pulled back from Chengchao. To be fair, we're not far from the end of the turn here. Really not far. Ah, now this is something I need to do. Troll over this way. I'm just going to patrol this area here, outside Balikpapan, and obviously here as well. I'm hoping that obviously we can force his ships either to continue this way or to continue this way and be hit by our forces here and our forces from Babal Dwarb. In fact, what I'm going to do is actually narrow that down. Yeah, that's much better. I was up late last night setting up my continuous supply convoys, bringing resources from Korea to Japan. Yeah, from Korea and China to Japan. That's pretty awesome, dude. I love the fact that more and more people are getting into this game. I love the fact that we have like a little community here. Honestly, it's amazing. Right, the cut at first SLF. They're taking the sweet goddamn time, but we'll have a moving combat there. Yeah, I need a garrison for Manila, but that's fine. We'll deal with that later. Okay. So what we're going to do here then is, for the most part, we are... I'd say we're pretty much done with the turn. I do try to finish it in about 2 streams, really. Okay, so 003. If he moves to the Philippines, at the end of the day, we are going to be conquering the Philippines slowly but surely, so we'll drive him out anyway. And he'll know that. Yeah, the whole war economy is like Factorio, but on a larger scale. See, I like Factorio. It's a fucking autistic as hell game, isn't it? Yeah, you should see my other desktop. Wait one second. Okay, here we go. Yeah, then there's this side. I don't know how you do it easily. Like, what the hell are the shortcuts, or like, what the hell do you press to, like, organize this? So fucking shy like this. And, yeah, there's a reason why you don't see this side. There's a reason why you don't see that side. It's honestly better than it used to be. It used to be so much bloody worse. Okay, let's take a look then. We'll run the new turn. Well, leave the new turn here. There we go. Now, when it complains here about the global vehicle points, obviously I've been expanding my vehicle production continuously. Right click on the desktop, okay, and click sort. Okay. Oh. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll take that. I'll take that. I suppose I'm just not a very organised person when it comes to, like, desktop. I'm not that bloody good with computers. I'm not that, technically, like, I'm not that savvy. Okay, obviously you've been taken into upgrade. Oh, so the President Coolidge is still alive. You son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. I know the Minoru went down. Jesus, Minoru just kept getting hit after hit after hit. It's like, Jesus, she's dead. Let her die. Okay, industry. Yeah, obviously essentially restarted armaments production. I'm looking to build it up again, and then we'll obviously turn it off again, and yeah. Yeah, we have more resources, that's nice. Obviously still needs to do in this situation. I look forward to the day when we have it somewhat self-sufficient. Yeah, still going down on the old resources. Supplies going up again though, which is quite nice. Fuel obviously still going down. We use about, I don't know, give or take 320,000 units of fuel so far. Obviously we'll be bringing more in. It is a concern, but yeah. We'll have it in the bag. Yep, 72k, 43 1Cs per month, very good. I mean, really what I'm wanting here is the engine production to catch up. I really bloody need engines such as, is it the HAR-32? Or the HAR-33? I forget which one it is, but the ones I'm using for my reconnaissance planes and my bombers really need bloody more of those. I mean, all the engines are expanding, so it's not too bad. Let's take a look. Okay. So we do have a lot of search over here at the moment. I really want to get like a float plane squadron over here to survive, and some engineers obviously to upkeep them. So obviously I want to really have this area covered. We do have a general smattering of search. I just really want to make sure it's all linked up and all like really fairly dense. So I'd like to have something in the Marianas. I mean, I would like to have some H6K4s operated from Saipan, to be honest. That would be nice. Okay. To be honest, guys, I think we are done with the turn. I don't think there's a whole lot of anything I can really do here. Yeah, that's set to combat. Yep, deliberate. Yep. You're on your way, taking forever, but that's fine. The headquarters is moving. These divisions are going to be beginning their attack. Actually, I did forget to change the headquarters over here. There we go. I just hope for the best over here with these divisions. Hope for the best. We do have 3 fairly capable leaders. How much would it cost to actually have them attached to the 14th Army? I'm going to say a fucking lot. Yeah, too much. Yeah, way, way, way too much. The mortars are moving, obviously that's going to take them some time. I don't think we'll break them this turn, but we'll see what resistance we walk into. Need to build up the airbase at Naha at some point in the future. The fact that it has a repair shipyard is very important, actually. A merchant shipyard too. But yeah, we need to build that up. Shame it doesn't have any light industry. I think I could produce light industry here. I can't remember how you bloody build it. I don't think I could. I think you have to expand it, don't you? I can't remember exactly how it works. Yeah. It's making its way into the bases over here. It is getting in there. It's taking its bloody sweet bloody time. I dream of the day that we say we actually see some solid progress here. It is getting there slowly but surely. Just taking its sweet bloody time. Okay, so we've got all of it covered over this way. I haven't looked at this, however. It would be nice to hit the Dominion Monarch. Where's this force going? Can't really tell. There we go, we'll hope for the best. Yeah, he's very, very aware of these submarines. But we'll take the risk. It would be very good to hit the Dominion Monarch. Right, let's reduce that down to about 70-30. They are really in that supply. Fairness, I could do with just having a force out there to pick them back up. $316 is what I'm looking for. Okay, I'm going to have them sent out there to pick up the forces from Baker Island. I'm not going to keep supplying them. He's running reconnaissance over Canton. That looks to be coming from search planes. Interesting question. I wonder if it's from shipborne. I'm sure we'll find out sooner or later. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I do think with that we have it sorted all we can do here in this turn, and we are ready to pass it on once more. So I'd like to say a big thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. And if you have enjoyed this, please do consider supporting myself and the channel. You can do this through a number of ways, such as PayPal, Patreon, Super Chats, and shaking your booty. All of these are good options, especially the last one. Always a good option. So, looking forward to seeing how the turn turns out. It's going to be pretty an interesting one. It's going to be a very interesting one. I will be streaming for Matrix and Slytherin tomorrow. And I will be playing 3 hours of Warplan Orange, Dreadnoughts in the Pacific. So until then, goodbye, Godspeed, and have a great evening. Goodbye for now.